Kick to the gut. I like it.
Hey, it is time to get oozy on a Tuesday afternoon. What's going on? It's Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building, Mr. Young.
Bro,
Road tripping. What's up?
I know. I think my wife and I have become that couple. Every month go JB, and every time we go to Malaysia, we go a little bit deeper. This time we went to Malacca, bro. We went further north.
Damn, you become the Northman, bro.
North, hey, very soon, I'll be able to drive us to JB for the, the Apex Wrestling stuff, bro. Road trip time,
bro.
man.
You just drive all the way to KL, you get yourself used to it, then you let me know, bro.
Hey, are they based out of KL or JB?
Bro, they are KL lah, bro.
Oh, hey, KL is tougher, bro. KL is like, what, 6 hours? I don't know if I can handle that shit.
I mean, last time most wrestlers, they drive what? How many hours from town to town? So, I mean, worst come to just take Scoot lah, bro.
Take Scoot. Hey, that's why, bro. That's why we are not restless. We talk about wrestling, but we don't live that traveling life. I want to say hi to chat, by the way. Muhammad Daniel, what's up? Wonder Boy, it's good to see you. Talking about Malaysian wrestlers.
Shout out to Wonder Boy. Hey guys, this end of the year, bro, for local wrestling, regional wrestling, so many shows coming. I know APEC just announced they got a huge show as well, and then we also have APEC wrestlers coming over to Grapple Max for their anniversary show, and then next week coming in hot. FPW anniversary shows, dual shows over the weekend.
Hey,
crazy, bro.
That's the thing with the end of the year, right? And that's also a problem. Everything happening at the same time, bro. Like, like for someone like me in the quote-unquote in the media line, right? I have to cover a lot of launches also. So it's like, wow, I have like 10,000 events I want to go to. Plus, I still need to train. Plus, I got random road trips happening. It's like, woo, boy, here we go.
Okay, bro, wait. I see my tongue got some, like a cursor on my tongue. There you go.
Okay.
Oh,
bro,
God.
You are the point. You see, this is the point. And when Foreign has a point, you will see the cursor. This is the point.
That's why I must do my tongue action, bro, because I gotta Caesar me, daddy.
So are those the two biggest catchphrases in professional wrestling right now? Sesame Daddy and Uzi?
Yeah, clearly, bro. They are fighting the promotion. It's like, okay, I'm gonna what up each other. Give me a good catchphrase. I'm gonna give you an even better catchphrase. Apparently,
did you read that Uzi is actually also a slang in Tongan that means something else?
Yeah, I heard about it, bro.
And I guess because Samoans, they know the slang, right? So that's why it's super funny to them. And we didn't realize it until only after it became popular, because Sami Zayn started cracking up the Usos and Roman Reigns, right? That it was like, actually, Uzi in Tongan means the pussy.
What? Really?
Yes, it means the pussy in Tongan lah, bro. That's why they laugh.
Oh dear God. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Jason, hello. Urfi, hello. Good to see y'all.
Yeah, what's up, guys? So the funny thing is, right? My question is, does Sami Zayn know what it meant?
Maybe not. I would like to think that he just said it off the cuff, like, because their names are the Usos, right? Uso means brother, and then you're not very brotherly, so he's like, okay lah, you're not very Usi. He might have just stumbled into the funniest thing of all.
Yeah, knowing Sami Zayn, I think that might be exactly the case. He just like play for fun, and okay, they just figured it out, and there it is, right?
And it cracked up the bloodline because they know what it actually means, and therefore now it is a joke upon a joke. So those are usually the best.
So like, do you think that the bloodline kept it all from Sami Zayn, like for a bit? It'll be damn funny, right?
Cannot be like in 2022. I'm sure the social media sites like Twitter and Instagram, they've already told him. People already at him, bro. They're like, hey, bro, you just said pussy in Tongan, bro.
Yeah, probably. I hope so. I hope all these Tongan WWE fans are like, bro, you just did a curse word, and like now the whole world knows what this is. It's quite funny, bro.
And people are loving it right now. So anyway, before we jump into the wrestling proper, and today we're going to talk about Full Gear, everything AEW, unfortunately. So stand by for a shit show. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, no lah. Come on, guys.
Look at Mr. Young setting the tone already. But to be fair, have you been excited? Other than the scissoring, and even then, the scissoring has gone through some real oh my god, okay, we'll get to it in just a bit, right? But like, have you been impressed with AEW in the last few weeks?
That's the question, right? To all of us, like, has the show really suffered? Because technically, we are supposed to be going towards the coronation of MJF as the world champion.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be like an exciting news story? Why does it feel so like meh?
Yeah, exactly, right? So, I don't know, we'll dive into it. We'll go through the matches, and I bet a lot of it has to do with poor booking. Best Booker of the Year, Tony Khan, 2022. Let's go. But before we do anything, I have to point out the very obvious thing that everyone can see right now on our screens. Look at how professionally dressed Foreign is today. Collared shirt and everything. Bro, I didn't know you. I didn't think you took our podcast this seriously. We're always in t-shirts. What's going on?
But bro, only finally I took our podcast seriously, bro. After all these years, right?
And whoa, look at the background. Look at the books. My God. Hey, what's going on? What's going on here?
Let me pull out a book. Like, what book do I have? Wait,
I see Rousey. I see Obama. This learned fella. Say learned fella.
The one I'm proudest of, bro. Check this out.
What's it? The WWE. Oh my God.
Latest moments, bro. See, I'm a true fan. I might not collect belts, but I love collecting wrestling books and autobiography. I got JR's book as well.
Yeah.
I got Jim Ross.
I see Dan Brown. So you do like your thrillers. I see Ronda Rousey. I see
a lot of Liverpool stuff at the back as well.
Right. Hey Rishi, good to see you. Good to see you also.
But one day I will show you guys a tour of like my book collection. But today is not the day. Today is to talk AEW, bro.
That's right. The Kick to the Hardcover coming your way. A new podcast by your podcast boys where we review books. That'll be a very short review. By the way, it'll be all foreign talking book and Mr. Young going because I don't read, bro. I don't have time to read.
Don't worry, Mr. Young, we cover all the bases at the table. You cover the videos, you cover gaming. I'll cover books and literature.
Okay. Professional foreign, I also say so.
Wait, but before that, guys, speaking of professional, speaking of like tours and stuff like that, I don't know whether you guys remember our tease from last week.
Yeah.
You know that because at the end of the year, Kick to the Gut is gonna have our season finale, right? Then after that, we want to do something for the fans. I think it's been a long time coming, Mr. Young. I mean, what, 5 seasons? Have we actually done a hangout and like meet our fans or our listeners in person? Have we done that yet?
We have not. We've caught some of you at some of the local wrestling events, GrappleMax, SPW and whatnot, right? But we haven't had a proper sit together, makan, maybe play some games, maybe test your wrestling knowledge, that kind of stuff. And that's all on the cards, isn't it?
Yeah, man. So first of all, before we make a huge announcement on social media and put it all out, guys, can you guys keep your Sunday 11 December? Not 1111. That one is this past month. No, 1112.
Yes.
Keep your Sunday afternoons free. That's all we're gonna say for now, bro.
That's right, because come 1112, there might be a whole lot of scissoring that day.
Yeah, yes. Feel free to scissor me and Mr. Young in person when you see us.
That's not very usi, bro.
Yeah, that sounds very wrong, bro. But yes.
So 11/12, that's the date that we've set aside. So please keep your Sunday free. We'll come hang out and do all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, we shall announce where, when, what to bring, what to expect.
What to bring?
Announce what to bring.
Bring scissors, bro.
Bro, no. This one is not a gang war, bro. I think you all should start going through your closet and look for all your wrestling shirts.
Okay.
Because no wrestling shirts, not allowed. So if you don't have a wrestling shirt, cannot come.
I see. Okay, can.
Okay, so now you know we set the tone. Okay, but now let's move forward. We'll talk about it another time.
If you have any of our Kick to the Gut shirts you wear, you get bonus points.
Oh, bonus, bro. Don't worry. Yeah, we definitely we also will have some swag, some new swag as well. And some merch. So hopefully, once we make an announcement, we can have everyone come and join us.
Yeah.
And have a great time and catch up and talk about wrestling this year, because this year has been a wild year if you think about it, Mr. Young.
Ups and downs. I feel like we say that about every year, though. That's the thing, and that's the beauty of wrestling, right? If one side is doing well, the other side doing poorly, there's always gonna be something to talk about, even during the pandemic. And now that we are, moving away from that dark time, as it were, we thought, AEW is on the ascendant. ascendancy, you know, AEW riding the
Correct.
wave of CM Punk. And then, it's all that stuff better than the product. Let's just put it that way.
And like going back to your point about AEW's programming having like a bit boring, a bit stagnant last couple of weeks. Are we all of the argument now that regardless of the shit or nonsense that CM Punk brings to the table, the baggage, right?
Yeah.
You can't deny that he is a draw.
It's interesting because there are like two sides to this argument, right? There are the anti-CM Punk fans, the people who are like, oh my God, they are so dramatic. He's like brought nothing but trouble, blah, blah, blah. But I will argue, you know, that sometimes you need someone like that, a shit disturber, to improve the product, to kick these indie-rific job guys, honestly, and make them like get rid of the crap and then bring the product to a different level, a more professional level, a sustainable money-drawing level. At the end of the day, if this is sort of a project where like, and okay, then maybe the argument is, bro, let me go the other side. Maybe the argument is let them have their indie-rific show funded by a billionaire until, so they ride that train until the wheels fall off. And then, you know, because they are not there to compete with the WWE, ma. That's what they say, ma, right?
Yes, correct. You know what? I just was sitting and thinking about it, right? I've made the perfect comparison for CM Punk, bro.
Okay.
CM Punk to AEW, right? The drama, the baggage that he brings to the company, right? Is exactly the same as the drama and baggage and the star power that Cristiano Ronaldo brings to Manchester United right now. Don't you think so, bro?
Okay, I'm not that dialed into football, so explain that to me a little bit. I know he returned to Manchester United. He formerly was of Manchester United, but this year hasn't been playing very well. Didn't he shit on the coach recently in an interview?
Bro, have you seen the clips of the interview? It just went viral. It just happened yesterday, bro.
Oh, okay, no.
Okay, so you will love this. You know why? You know who interviewed him or not, bro?
Was it Ariel Hawani?
No, even better.
Who?
Piers Morgan, bro.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So Piers Morgan apparently are unlikely friends with Ronaldo, I guess. So he did like a exclusive scoop interview over the weekend where basically now Ronaldo is going to the World Cup, right? So he's away from Man U for 1 month, right? He decided to drop a pipe bomb, bro. He just shit on the entire club, bro.
Rishi said he had his own media scrum. He did a CM Punk. Oh no. So okay, he's very unhappy.
Everyone see the comparison. Everyone sees the comparison now.
Okay, it makes sense. Okay, let me give you a WCW comparison. How about Hulk Hogan?
Exactly, right? Like, for all the baggage that he brings, he brings so much star power and notoriety to the company.
And that's the thing. That they being the elite crew, could have capitalized on it. But no, they wanted their own little all friends wrestling sort of, no, we are here. Instead of making friends with CM Punk and riding his fame all the way to the top, they felt threatened. And thus started this whole rumor campaign, whisper campaign with the Hangman page, stuff we don't need to revisit. But you see, like, this is what annoys the shit out of me for AEW. It's like, technically, like, regardless of whether you like their wrestling or not, right? They could have rode that wave all the way up, you know, and then got eyes on their product. But instead, no, they had to be like, not like, which is worse? Honestly, at the end of the day, when you look back, right, I think the backstage backstabbing whisper type of personality is worse than the in-your-face sort of like a CM Punk, like, you know, someone who tells it as it is. He's an asshole and he's proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't say he's proud of being an asshole, but I think he speaks the truth. He speaks his mind. Yeah. Without any remorse, without any apologies. I think this kind of people, as much as it sucks when he's like, the truth is brutal, right?
Yeah.
But at least you know going forward, you know what to expect from him. But you also know what needs to be done to get better, right?
Yeah,
that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, as opposed to the folk who will stab you in the back, whisper into the boss's ear. And I mean, this is a slice of life in work life. Every office, you have one brash fella, like, oh, lama, this fella irritating, but at least you know what to expect. Versus the one who pretend to be your friend, but actually going to the boss talking shit about you.
So now you know, guys, 101 career adulting from Mr. Young.
Yeah, the one who is vocal about this, that, and the other thing might not be your enemy, even though you think they're annoying and they're always talking shit. They're trying to improve things, maybe.
Correct, exactly. So I think at the end of the day, what we can do, learning lessons from this entire episode is like AEW is a media company. Like it's a
Yep.
pro wrestling company, but it's also a media company. So media company means don't you want the most eyeballs in your product?
Exactly. See, here's the thing. People always say, watching wrestling rots your brain. I beg to differ. We can learn so many life lessons from pro wrestling.
Exactly, bro. And also how not to run a pro wrestling company also.
Yeah, to hell with Sesame Street. To hell with the electric company. Watch pro wrestling. It'll teach you about life.
Yes, that's why. So that's why we are the way we are now. That's why we have the careers that we have, Mr. Young. It's all thanks to wrestling, bro.
Wonder Boy says, yeah, I have a guy like that at my college. Feel like smacking him in the nose.
Nah, okay. Wonder Boy, please video it and then tag us.
Yes,
We shall
yes.
we shall commentate on the fight.
Oh
The
my
backstage
god,
brawl.
don't go viral for the wrong reasons, Okay, before we jump into the AEW, I also want to very quickly mention that this past weekend I went to Malacca, like I mentioned earlier, right? So it was more of a family trip actually. We drove down, spent one night in JB, then after that drove down to Malacca. It was like 3-4 hours, but because of jams, it became like 5 hours.
Wow. Just
Yeah.
up to Malacca is 5 hours.
No, it's 3, but jam.
Okay, got it.
Construction.
Okay.
I don't know if a construction or breakdown or what lah, but wow, there was a massive jam. Anyway, the point is, it was good to be away from everything for like 4 days ish.
Yeah.
I only caught SmackDown and I didn't even bother with Rampage. Literally nothing came out of Rampage for me, and I didn't care. I didn't feel the need to go watch, but I did see clips of SmackDown on social media, and that's about it. That was my wrestling, and it felt good to just get away, you know.
Yeah, I think the thing about wrestling is like you need to have your time where you have your breaks. You know, like wrestlers go away from injuries, make them miss you a bit. I think like we as wrestling viewers, we know when it's like the boring time, for wrestling.
Yeah.
Usually, like last time lah, is everything after SummerSlam onwards is usually very boring. Or like after WrestleMania, there's always a post WrestleMania lull. So it's kind of nice to step away from programming. But the funny thing is, right, as much as you want to run away from programming, there's always news stories, wrestling news stories that kind of like crop up, and you always kind of have to like address it somehow. So it's like it kind of never ends, the news cycle. So you just decide whether you want to plug out or plug back in, right?
True. Well, I mean, the good thing about this era too is even if you miss the whole show, you can always catch clips, so you kind of know what happened without watching the whole show, for better or for worse. Because honestly, them doing this also shoots themselves in the foot, because now it's like, I don't really feel the need to go back and watch. I already know the results, all the high points, and then people talk about it, and then it's like, so have we truly entered the era of like spectacle wrestling where you just, this is what the Young Bucks do, right? They just create moments and then that's it, because they know deep in their heart people aren't actually sitting there watching the whole match.
That's the thing, right? I feel like from talking to wrestling fans, there's two types of wrestling fans. Fans who like to hear people talk about wrestling. So usually you're fans of all your podcasts, you like to watch people reacting to it. So like TikTokers and all those kind of people. They don't really want to watch the action. They want to watch how people react to the action. That's one thing.
Right.
And then there are those who are like wrestling purists. Either they've been in the business, they like to watch a wrestling match. They like to watch how somebody performs and all that. And I feel there's the third one. The third is the analyzers, the analysts. People like us.
Yes, I was about to say, are we the analyzers?
You can call us armchair critics. You can call us typical those only know how to complain, smart marks, IWC, whatever it is. But I feel like these people are also great and important. And I mean, not patting ourselves on the back, but if you got somebody to have people to like drive or spark the conversations, right? That's why, like, as much as we hate or like we make fun of Dave Meltzer, but I feel like his role is important. I feel like people like Ariel Helwani is important. I feel Jim Cornette is important. Even Chris Jericho on his podcast is somehow important.
Well, I mean, exactly right. They are extending the product beyond just the Raw show, the SmackDown show. Maybe it's because of something they said, good or bad, that people go and watch the Raw or the premium live event or the pay-per-view, whatever the case may be. So yeah, absolutely. We talked about this before on the previous show. It is what they call the earned media. It's not paid media. They didn't advertise. This is us, just rando fans, creating content based on what they did. And the better they do their job, the better they are at it, the more we'll have to talk about, thus the more generated free media that they get.
Yes, correct. So essentially, we are not sponsored by AEW or WWE or for that matter SPW or Grapple Max or ROR.
Yeah.
But just love wrestling, and I feel like that's why the podcast, it has gone on for 4 years, 5 years. I think people just keeps engaging with us, and we're like, well, there's no reason to stop because people want to talk about wrestling together with us. So that's the community for you guys. It's everyone here listening. So shout out to all of you. Shout out to everyone that even the people on the Patreons, you can see on the list below. And that's what makes wrestling great, and the conversation is great.
Talking about the community, if you haven't already joined the Discord, link is below. Please go jump into our Discord and say hi to us, and we'll continue all kinds of crazy conversations there, and you can connect with other fellow wrestling fans. Okay, let's jump into some AEW stuff then. I know that everyone's raving about Saraya's promo against Britt Baker, about whether she's ready, she's coming back, blah blah blah. I only caught the clip of it on AEW's Instagram page. They pretty much played most of the promo lah.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know if I'm in the minority because I see our Discord, everyone's like, oh my god, that promo is fire, I loved it, Saraya's back, Paige is back. I did not feel that promo. I was like, I've never felt any Paige's promo. That's the thing. Like, I told you this before, right? Like, I wasn't around when Paige had her moment, when she broke out. So for me, it's always been like, oh, okay, she was hot for, a good... I mean, they made a movie about her, for crying out loud. She must have been huge, right?
Yeah.
But I've never seen sort of why... I mean, she's hot, sure, but I've never understood what made her great. Because this promo did nothing for me. I don't know if it's because she was booked poorly in AEW. Like, she kind of showed up, and then she was in the background for a couple of episodes, and now she's back. But it's like, I don't know, the promo did nothing for me. What do you think it is?
It's very interesting that you say that, because you also weren't around when CM Punk was huge, but then when he got back and wrestled in AEW, you got his hype, right?
Yeah. Is it there's levels to the game? So CM Punk is on CM Punk's on this level. Paige is like, all right, and Paige, I mean, I don't want to be a guy. I don't want. Okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to say.
Okay. Let me say this. Let me put it like this, then, right? Saraya or Paige, she became popular. She became big very early on in her life.
Okay.
You can almost compare her to like a child Hollywood actor, child star, or that kind of thing, So I feel like her prime was when she was coming up, was the fact that she's fresh, she's new, she is this different look for a diva. You have to understand, when she was like at her height of her career in WWE, she was always like fighting opposite or alongside the Bella twins, right? Or like she had a series of matches with Emma. So Paige was so fresh and so new that it was cool, and like she didn't have to rely on her promos per se. She just had to scream, "This is my house." She just had to look badass, and she was, like I mentioned before to you, the way she wrestles in the ring is very rough, very much like Wendy Richter, or very much like Luna Vachon, like a proper brawler and bruiser. So that was the most of her appeal. Her appeal was never to be an on-screen character, or she never did well doing rivalries. It's not as if like I can remember a very famous promo from her or memorable promo. There's nothing of that sort. It's just her aura. So like if you think about it, like if I want to compare her, I think she's a bit like Lita in terms of her appeal is her look, her vibe, her skills. I've never had a Lita promo that I love or remember. You get what I mean?
Right, yeah, I get what you mean. So, okay, maybe that's my whole thing now that, everything post-wrestling career she was on that Fox show with Renee Young / Paquette, right? She did commentary, she did...
Total
Divas. She was a manager for a while. Like, she was a GM. Like, none of it was, like, exciting. It was all very underwhelming. And then now she's back, and here's the thing. You talk about her style being fresh and rough. Well, times have changed. Everyone does that and more. So, and she kind of, I don't think she can afford to wrestle that style anymore. So I'm very afraid that she'll try to because she's expected to, and then she'll injure herself again. That's one thing, right? Her promos, like, I don't know. Okay, do you think that people are like, oh my god, her promo is so fire because they are fans and thus they believe, right? So if you're a fan, you can do nothing wrong. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, it was like okay lor, it was fiery promo, but it really did nothing for me.
Well, for me, knowing her career like longer, having like a proper full picture of her career, I feel whatever she said, I think came from the heart, because I
Okay.
think most fans know how much she struggled when she talked about everyone. Like, she had to go through her mental health breakdown in front of everyone. She had to deal with all that. Like, we've seen it. We've seen her abusive relationship with Everton the Rio.
Yeah.
We've seen like her, sex video, whatever it is. So I think it came from a place.
I love how you glossed over that, by the way. Oh, we've
Yeah,
seen
I'm
it.
just
Yes, apparently we
I'm
have.
just trying to keep it PG around here. But my main point is the fact that everything came from a real place, and that's why people were cheering. So it's a bit more of like, yeah, it wasn't the best. Like, you can't say she's CM Punk, because CM Punk will know how to bring that reality and craft it into like amazing delivery or promo delivery, right?
Yeah.
But I think she was just stumbling through her emotions and like pouring it all out. So I think that was the rawness that people felt.
Okay.
But I do get like it wasn't perfect. It was very rough. I think Brit did a much better job keeping the promo on track,
Yes.
as opposed to Paige just being emotional, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So that I understand where you're coming from, lah.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense now that you framed it in that sort of a way. Like, there are a lot of wrestlers. Like, for example, Moxley is another example, right? Like, sort of, his interview style is sort of similar. Like, he will just rant whatever comes to his mind, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses. Whereas you have a CM Punk, I think he's more of a cerebral promo guy. He knows exactly what notes to hit, how to build the promo from start to finish. By the end of it, the crowd is like fucking going mad and crazy, right? Whereas these guys like your Pages and your Moxleys, they're just like, I'll just say whatever I feel, and if I emotionally connect, I emotionally connect. If I don't, then so be it. That was me being me.
Yeah, blurt out through all your feelings without any filter. Yeah, I think that's her style. Speaking,
And then there's people like Paige, Hangman Page, who will blurt everything out but not connect and just sound like a jackass. Anyway, go on.
oh my god, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. No, I was just saying, like, yeah, but how hype are you for this match? Because now you're looking at the card, right? There are 3 women's matches, and it feels like they're trying to put all their chips on this match being the marquee women's match on top of the championship matches.
I'm honestly, when I look at that match, I just feel more worried than anything.
Worried for her safety and health,
Yeah,
is it?
maybe it's the Edge. Like, when Edge came back, like, oh, are they going to do neck spots where they tease like her neck gets fucked? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
yeah.
So how much of it is a work? How much of it is a shoot? Maybe it's a very good work. Like, actually, she's 100% healed, but they're hinting that she's not, Like,
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about, right? And also, if you look at Jason's statistic, what's up, Jason, from Brunei? He said that Saraya is technically younger than Britt Baker, but has wrestled longer than Britt Baker.
Okay. I mean, yeah, she's been wrestling since she was a child.
Yeah, so do you watch the movie? I don't think you did, right?
No, I haven't had time to go and watch. I have to find it's not on Netflix, it's not on Disney Plus, so I have to find like other means to go watch it.
Yeah,
buy it or whatever from.
I'm quite
Blu-ray.
curious why it's not on like all those like streaming sites. But you know what's funny? The movie Paige was portrayed by Florence Pugh. Pew.
The new Black Widow.
Before she got big.
Yeah.
Right? This was like her era when she was like pre-Black Widow, pre-whatever it is. And it's so funny because it's like a really stellar cast and it was really well done. So if you can take your... Even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's such a good movie. So I think Paige did a great... I mean, not Paige did a great job. I think the movie and the directors did a great job of telling Paige's story. Because to be honest, why would somebody like her have an autobiographic when like people like Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan doesn't even have a Hollywood biopic? Funny, right?
Yeah, hilarious. Oh, did you? I'm sure you saw. I think was it you who posted in our Discord? Was it Zac Efron is playing one of the Von Erichs?
Oh my god! Yeah, we gotta talk about it. News, man. Okay, I know we go sideway track from AEW, but can we just say that? Yeah, please.
He looks swole AF, bro.
And you know what's funny?
What?
He's portraying the Von Erich that is the least swole.
Right.
I think he's portraying Kevin Von Erich, so he's the only one that is still alive.
Yeah.
If you know the history, the dark history, I think it's covered on Dark Side of the Ring. All of the Von Erich brothers either died from like all fucked up causes, either suicide or overdose.
Yeah.
All those crazy things, right? But Von Erich he was known as Leaping Von Erich, so he was the only guy in the among the brothers that wrestled without shoes. He's like Riddle a bit.
Yeah.
But he was known for his like athletic, high flying style. So that's why he actually is the smaller build among all the Von Erichs.
So okay, he's not the one who wrestled in the WWE as Texas Tornado, right?
No, that one is Kerry.
Okay.
So yeah, you remember Texas Tornado was super jacked and so. So I thought like, oh, was Zac Efron portraying him? But it's not.
Interesting. I can't wait to see that one actually. That one should be fun.
Do you know about the news about the casting as well? Another casting from the movie?
Is it what Jason just said? MJF as Lance Von Erich, the fake Von Erich. There was a fake Von Erich.
Yeah, so this is fucking funny because there's the four Von Erich got a couple of brothers, right? But there was this one guy who was like a hanger on to the family, like always want to lepak out with the family, always wanted to be part of the family.
Yeah.
But he's like a bit of the runt. So he's actually not even a Von Erich, but he calls himself, or after like a couple of them died, he wanted to like represent the Von, so he take up the name. So he's kind of like a Scrooge, which is perfect for MJF.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Runt of the family.
Bro, this is his dipping his toes into the Hollywood scene, bro. That's it.
Yeah, man. And another thing is, right, do you realize the one that is coordinating the wrestling in this show, in that still that Zac Efron was doing the wrestling, it was against Chavo Guerrero, bro.
Oh, isn't Chavo Guerrero like he was the one doing consultancy work on Glow as well, or some other wrestling related show? So Chavo has found his spot.
Yeah, Chavo's niche is like I'm the go-between between Hollywood and training all these actors to do all the wrestling in movies. So good.
So who's how are you? Good afternoon, man. So who says Mr. Geylang also wrestles without shoes, but he dislocated his knee? Get well soon. Oh my god. Yes, please get well soon.
Yeah, we saw the photo. Get well soon, Mr. Geylang, guys. Please wrestle with proper protection. You are not Riddle, bro.
Yes. Anything you do with protection, especially if you're in Geylang.
Yes, Mr. Geylang. I think he knows best, all about protection.
I think so. All right, let's move on to the actual. Wait, before AEW, okay, anything else you want to bring about AEW? MJF, he wasn't on Dynamite, was he? I feel like he disappeared 1 week to sell the beat down.
Yeah, he wasn't on Dynamite. Yeah, he got beaten down, right? And also, he appeared in a like a vignette or like pre-recorded promo from the podcast. Pardon my take.
Yeah, and he delivered a great promo. I'm still not sold on him being a babyface. I really do hope it's a swerve, as
I do
we
hope.
talk about.
I do hope it's a swerve. I feel it's so funny because he barely addressed the attack. Like he said, it hurts me, but he just kind of brushed it off.
Yeah. All right. Let's get down to the pay-per-view to preview the damn thing then, shall we?
Before we go on the pay-per-view, I need to mention one more promo from Dynamite. Okay. One more thing. Do you remember the response that Jon Moxley gave?
Was it an in-ring sort of a promo deal?
Yeah, with William Regal by his side, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, can I say, I don't know whether you remember it that well, but I actually really like that promo. I really like Moxley's response to MJF.
What did he say?
He talked about how like I've seen the devil.
Oh yeah,
you're not the devil.
Right. I mean, yeah,
and I like it.
Yeah, I feel like he's a good response guy. You know what I mean? He's not Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt can literally promo against himself. He can make shit up and fight himself. Right? When Jon Moxley doesn't have somebody to go off of or tekan or to talk back to, I feel like that's when he starts rambling and talking nonsense about how he likes to grind bones and drink soup and whatever shit lah. Drink blood, sorry. But yeah, when he has something to respond to, I feel like that's when Moxley does well in promos.
Yeah, I get it. And I think Moxley is good in this role as he's kind of like the veteran. He got like William Regal by his side, and he's kind of like I think the big line, the hook sinker line that he talked about MJF was everything you've done up to this point is easy.
Yeah.
And I like it because it's kind of like giving a formidable challenge for MJF. So whatever happens, right, if MJF were to become champion, he will definitely have earned it going through it the right way against Mox. So yeah, I think great segue to our preview right now.
All right, here we go then. The card for Full Gear. All right. Oh my God. So I don't know what the order is, but this is what the order is on the Wikipedia. So let's go. Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry in a steel cage.
this rivalry was like super over already, like 3 months ago. But I thought it was ended already, bro.
Yeah, here's the thing, booking, right? I wonder if it's because Christian got injured and therefore he was supposed to have a blow-off match. He can't have the blow-off match with Jack Perry. But yeah, this entire feud has it's killed itself basically with the multiple face heel turns to a point where at this point they're going into a steel cage. I don't care. Like
who cares? Yeah.
Like who do you think?
Is there an argument to say, right? There is too little pay-per-views for AEW, so like they can't blow off their feuds fast enough.
No, but that's fine. You can blow off your feuds on they have special dynamites all the time, right? So there are lower tier feuds they can blow off, like whatever nonsense you stick the Acclaimed in. For example, remember the what was that? The gimmick infringement, the copyright thing when the Mark Sterling, like, oh my god, thank god they buried that feud in 1 week. The only good thing about that feud was the fact that it was over in 1 week. Thank goodness.
Yeah. I get it what you mean, but the Luchasaurus and this Jack Perry like rivalry has been botched in my opinion, like completely botched. So by the time they're gonna fight, right? Honestly, it's like, okay, fine, just wrap up this feud already. Let's move on from it, right?
Here's the problem. You're not gonna get the comeuppance against Christian Cage. Yeah, even if Jack Perry beats Luchasaurus, it's like, okay, I mean, technically Luchasaurus should be able to destroy Jack Perry. So if you have a straight up match, Lucha, and you know these two, they can't help themselves. They will do all sorts of fancy, all elite style bullshit nonsense that shouldn't make any sense. And it's in a steel cage. He's gonna jump off the top row, whatever, top of the cage. Christian Cage can't be involved because he's injured, right? So I'm just not looking forward to this match at all.
Yeah, for sure. But I think in terms of winners, it's gotta be Jungle Boy, right? He hasn't gotten any victory for him. So he's just kind of beaten up only, bro.
So if he wins here, it ends the feud, obviously. But it doesn't make sense. Like, how do you have Jack Perry cleanly beat Luchasaurus in a cage? And at the same time, you completely bury Luchasaurus. I know a lot of people you like or dislike Luchasaurus. At least he has the size. He has a sort of scary gimmick, whatever. The right hand of Christian Cage.
What have they done though to build him up as a monster in these couple of weeks leading up to the match?
That's the thing. Like,
nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. So they were on a roll when he was, when he first turned against Jack Perry and he was destroying people like your Brian Pillman Juniors and whatnot, right? Yep. And then he turned back and then, this just unfortunately is saddled with just the worst booking ever. And
they think that they can blow this off, they can make it work by putting them in a steel cage. Like, which is more colder of a rivalry? Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre in a steel cage, or Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy in a steel cage?
Okay, at least Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre, right? There weren't any there weren't botches within the feud itself.
The botch, right?
Yeah, it's not like Scarlett freaking turn face and then turn heel and then turn face and turn heel. This is what has happened here. Luchasaurus has turned for no reason. They never explained it, by the way. You're my friend. No, you're my... Like, what? What childish shit is this?
Yeah, exactly, right? So, it doesn't make sense for me. And the faster they wrap it up, the better, right? I think that let's just end the rivalry right now. That's what I want.
Dude, at this point, just put this on the pre-show and it's all good, bro. Let's move on.
Exactly.
Can we... I looked at the next match and I'm like, I guess, okay, see if you can guess who I'm talking about. He's one of those legends, right? That at this point, I mean, he's a legend, but in a way, like, he's never gonna, like, be a headlining legend. He's not gonna draw great amounts of money, but he's great as an intercontinental champion, or especially as a booker, or somebody to lead the creative, do finishes, stuff like that. He is more valuable to AEW, I think, as a backstage guy, than being on camera with Jay Lethal and Sonjay. Now, this is... What are we, in TNA? For goodness sakes, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, who thought in 2022 that Jeff Jarrett is still wrestling a match and is involved in rivalries on TV? Come on.
He looks great. We got to give him that. He looks amazing.
Yeah.
He's probably really fit for his age, but that's not what AEW needs. He just looks like an old man in this company full of young talent, right?
Yeah. And what's up with him like having this random rivalry with Sting? Like he not over it.
Yeah.
Didn't they fight how many times in Impact Wrestling like 10 years ago?
No, I mean, but this tag team match too, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Sting. That's 3 veterans and 1 Ginna. So it's like the 3 veterans from their TNA days and 1 new guy from AEW, okay, have a fight. Like, this is the most throwaway match.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, my only issue is like, what the hell are they doing with Darby Allin? Like, shouldn't he be like a champion or like a main eventer by now?
Maybe they think, okay, he's going to be rubbing shoulders with all these legends. He's going to get like the major rub, like the rub of all rubs. But
yeah,
no,
that's not exactly how it happened, right?
And I'm sorry lah, but you know when Jeff Jarrett appeared, and we talked about this, right? He did the chair shot to Darby Allin. It was cold. The crowd was cold. They didn't really care that it was Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, that's why. But you know what? At the end of the day, I just hope that he does this just to like show that he's back. He's in TNT. He is in AEW, and then just move on.
See TNA.
I know. I'm used to it already.
and somehow you see the 3 people in this is like, oh my god, why are you bringing up images of TNA? That sort of that failed era of TNA with Jeff, with Jay.
Yeah,
with
it's
Sting.
not really like a prosperous image to have in mind, you know.
Oh my god, they're looking. AEW is looking more and more like TNA at some point, you know. Just like Dixie Carter ran out of Daddy's money, Tony might run out of Daddy's money, and then, well, anyway, let's not paint that picture yet, huh? Who wins? Who cares, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Who wins, bro? Who wins?
It doesn't matter. Okay, lah, fine. I'll say. You know what? Just for shits and giggles, Jeff Jarrett will win.
Hey, really? You know, like when you look at the match on the face of it, it's like, does it really matter who wins? No, absolutely
exactly.
not. Let's move on. Okay, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Saraya. I mean, Saraya's got to win this. This is a foregone conclusion. I think the value here is to see Saraya back in the ring, right? And question, like I said earlier, what can she actually do in the ring? Is she going to be limited? And if she's limited, can the performance carry this match over? Like, you know how when Edge came back and his matches became more dramatic? I don't know if you...
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, like he was doing more emoting and acting. He's in physical theater, right? Like, so I don't know if she's on that level of a Edge or a CM Punk where they can milk emotion. Is this just going to be a rough match? Like, it's rough to watch.
I would hope that they finish it fast. You finish it fast, I think you can still salvage it.
Right. You try to drag it out, make it a technical match, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, if they can do the Goldberg method, within 3 moves, she beat Britt Baker and for an upset, I don't even mind that.
Well, I mean, there's precedent for that, right? Remember when she showed up on Raw, beat AJ Lee for the Divas title at the point in like minutes? Hits her rampage and it's out.
Yeah, that's why. So we can do that. We can do that. So I hope that they keep her safe, and I know Britt Baker will keep her safe. So you know.
Hey, wait. Her finisher was back in the day was called the Rampage, right?
Yes, she has put it on Twitter that she can't use the name already.
Well, I mean, AEW has a show named Rampage. I mean, come on. But fun fact: do you know who came up with the name of that move?
No.
Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods.
Oh, come on.
Okay. It's just a joke. I don't. It just came to me, bro. Much like they came to. Anyway.
Hey, come on, bro.
Okay. I don't know, man. Like I said earlier, I feel like this is one of those matches where I will be on the edge of my seat only because I'm worried for Saraya more than I'm invested in this match. Like any neck bump, any head bump, I'll be like, oh, Farah, please be okay.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, we were cool with, like, Edge taking a bump, Daniel Bryan taking a bump. So maybe we should give, Saraya more credit. To be fair, she hasn't even been in the ring for 5 years.
Sure.
That's enough time to kind of, like, get things settled down. And I hope she's been training.
Yeah, watch the whole match. She take nothing but front face bumps and no back bumps. Scully. Oh, suplex, no front suplex. Everything front drop.
Everything and sit on the bum. I don't know, maybe.
Oh, that still jars the spine though. You see on the bum, right? It was anyway. I wish.
Okay. Watch her do a Hulk Hogan and not take a bump at all.
Yeah lah, come in here and have her just win. Like, in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We shall see.
Speaking of women's matches, another one. AEW TBS Championship. Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose. I don't care.
So most of this rivalry was on Rampage. So if you have missed a majority of it, I don't blame you, bro.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't hate this rivalry, but I just, in terms of, Nyla Rose to me is a botched opportunity. Nyla Rose had the opportunity to be like a Nia Jax, to be a dominant female heel, right? Like, because she got the size and she got like the vibe and everything. Oh, I'm a monster, and she just destroys people. But then she goes and has back and forth matches with Riho, and her booking has been non-existent since her initial feuds. And then now here she is hanging out with Vicky Guerrero, kind of doing comedy sketch type deals. Ha! I stole your bell. Ha! It's like, can you imagine?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome Kong, or what was her name? Jazz, not Jazz. The other one. She's in Glow.
What's her name? Oh, Karma,
Karma.
Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong. Okay, right, yeah. Karma.
It's the same person.
Yeah, it's the same. Back in the day, can you imagine them doing like comedy gimmicks? I don't know, man.
It doesn't make sense.
I think if they pushed her as a monster all the way through and was a consistent threat to the title throughout the past 3 years, I would take this more seriously. But right now, we know that she's just there to lose to Jade. And because they love Jade, the Jade experiment, she's going to, be dominant all the way through, even though she's beaten a bunch of nobodies.
To be fair, I think Nyla should present her the biggest challenge, just purely based on size. She can definitely match Jade for strength, so she can overpower her like she did most of the women so far. So,
the problem here is this is going to be an ugly match. Nyla is not known for her great technical skill, and certainly neither is Jade. So this is going to be an ugly match. I hope they wrap this up in 5 minutes.
When you said that Nyla was a botch opportunity, I thought what you meant was she was a botch machine. Because that would have been easily interchangeable also. Bro.
Yeah, that too. So this is not Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect, okay?
Let's be clear.
Yeah. Jason says Jade Cargill needs the streak because she has zero character. Really? I think that she has a lot of character. It's bland because she does the same thing every week.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I want to see Jade Cargill do? I don't think she's done it recently. I need her to be in an in-ring segment going one-on-one promo-wise with a girl, because I feel she's done it with Athena, which was okay.
I think.
But can you imagine her with Paige or I don't know, somebody can call her out on her bullshit? I think it'll be interesting.
I think they scared she started dropping bad words. So because she's been known to cut that shit or cut the shit. She's that bitch. So I'm like, I don't know. And it's weird. Don't you feel like there's sort of two different women's divisions and they very rarely cross-pollinate? I don't know if it's because they legitimately have heat or they just want to keep her strong by having her dominate a lesser division at this point.
What if it's her end goal, right, is for her to be so dominant that she challenges the women's title to unify everything?
I hope so.
I don't know, man.
I hope so, because they have too many women's titles right now.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe that's the end goal. Maybe AEW's end goal is to build up Jade Cargill to the point that she's so good, she's so polished in the ring.
Yeah.
After how long ever it takes for her to be a champion, then finally go after a world champion.
It's very funny, right? She's literally one of the greener talent there. She's got a little bit of improvement, but not a lot. And it's going to take a while. So what? We're going to see another year of Jade Cargill being the TBS champion, only to finally have her, it's going to be dull.
Let's just put her as a Roman Reigns of a division, I guess.
Oh my God. Hey, at least, that's very high praise, bro. Roman Reigns can sell his ass off. He can work. he made Logan Paul look good. For all of Logan Paul's athleticism and what he did, it's still Roman Reigns. It takes two to dance.
Yeah, man. And I think one thing that Jake Cargill needs to learn from Roman Reigns is that I think Roman Reigns, despite being a champion for so long, knew when to switch it up, knew when to add things to her character.
Yeah.
She should be doing something with her baddie section right now. Have some decision. Where is her Sami Zayn in the baddie section?
Who are her baddies even? That's the other thing. Like, there's no real concrete sort of faction there. Like, one leaves, one goes, whoever's injured gets replaced, to a point where I don't know who is who. So everybody, her baddies are very interchangeable at this point.
Yeah,
you know?
I think Red Velvet was the big one, but then she got injured and then she hasn't been seen. And then Kiera Hogan is just floundering right now.
Yes. The problem is her as a character, right? And this goes to the booking more than anything. She's not surrounded with recognizable stooges, as it were. So, everything about her presentation right now is very stale because she's the same old character. Like,
We've talked about 3 matches so far, and these 3 matches are coming in cold as
4, bro. 4. This is the 4th match we've talked about. Unless you completely forgot about Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Sting, and Darby Allin, because nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares. Wait, what's the other one? Luchasaurus and that
Jungle
one,
Boy.
And then Jungle Boy. The other one was the third one.
Britt Baker Saraya, bro.
You see?
Wow, that's tough though. That's tough. Okay, then let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, Ken. Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter for the interim AEW Women's Championship.
Okay, to be honest, I will give credit to Tony Khan. I think she's trying to highlight the women more in this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
But the only problem is, like, this is not the 3 hottest feuds ever, you know?
No.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Tony Storm and... Yeah, sorry?
Do you think that Tony Khan is finally going to pull the trigger on Jamie Hayter? That's the question. Because Tony Storm has been doing great work. She looks incredible as a champion. But honestly, is she featured in any sort of proper program? Not really. She's sort of like... She's the side. Like, the side dish in the main program. The main program is Britt Baker Saraya, right?
Yeah, and also, I think the thing about Jamie Hayter is that she has gotten over organically with the fans. Even with all the crap that's been in the women's division, right? She's always, even when she was taking losses or she was like the side chick of Britt, the fans still like really supporting her. So I feel like the fans are gonna be rooting for her to win, and maybe this is the time to pull the. Okay, but I got another. There might be another complication, bro.
Yeah.
If we pull the trigger on Jamie Hayter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean all along Tony Storm will just be known as an interim champion? So that means she's never been acknowledged as a champion. Isn't that not fair?
No, she would still have sort of that interim champion like tag. What do you mean?
Yeah, what I mean is, like, once like Thunder Rosa is back, then Thunder Rosa, if she beats or fights with Jamie Hayter, that means the entire interim reign of Tony Storm hasn't been acknowledged at all. Then.
No, it will be. And honestly, at this point, the crazy thing is I don't really give a crap if Thunder Rosa comes back or not. I rather this just be the women's championship title and be, that be canon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's why I say, like, that might be the only reason why I'm not sure whether Tony Storm will lose. Because wouldn't AEW want to reward her for how she's been helping the division? It's like if Jon Moxley did all the great work over the summer and then CM Punk come in, CM Punk becomes the champion, and then the entire interim reign is forgotten. You get what I mean?
But that's the thing, right? That's the whole idea of an interim title. Like, I don't know. If anything, the interim title feels like, okay, this is, you're holding the title, keeping the seat warm, right? So, yeah, I get what you mean. Like, okay, so you want to have Thunder Rosa versus Tony Storm. But let's face it, honestly, if they were to give Thunder Rosa that return match, wouldn't it be better if it's Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa anyway?
Yeah, as a heel face, that would be better.
Yeah, a heel face. And not just that, but because I think by that time, Jamie Hayter might de facto have turned face because of her popularity, right? And that's when you have Britt turn on her because Britt is jealous.
Yeah, and Thunder Rosa coming back will come back as a heel because everyone seems to hate on her backstage.
No, I mean, she can come back as face, I guess.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. So there's different permutations, but I believe things will be very much more interesting if Jamie Hayter becomes champion, because imagine Jamie Hayter versus Saraya, Battle of the Brits.
Well, okay, Jamie Hayter becoming champion, I think all of us can agree. I don't want to say it's the right thing, but it would be capitalizing on her heat right now, right?
Yes, correct.
Um,
Correct.
Yeah, because honestly, Tony Storm just kind of meh, you know?
Yeah, that's one thing, but also another thing is, Jimmy. Okay, AEW has this problem of not pulling the trigger at the right time. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like when things get hot, they should capitalize on that moment, not drag it out 3 months to the point that okay, boring already, then pull the trigger, right?
Wow, but you know how what's his face is? He die must follow his plan one, no?
Yeah, apparently. So yeah, so Jamie Hayter, the right thing to do, make her champion now, lah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Okay. Do you think Britt Baker would turn on her here, or no? This is too early.
I depending on what happens between the Syria match, in my opinion, because the Syria match, if she loses so badly, then she might be so frustrated, and she said, like, why is Jamie not there to help me beat her or what?
Right.
Then she might like do the revenge.
That could be the impetus for the quote unquote the turn, like, oh, where were you this whole time? And that's why it would make sense for Jamie Hayter to win, right? Like, even further the rift between Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker is like, oh my god, you were busy winning a title while I was getting my ass kicked, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me remove some spam messages. Okay, there you go.
Nice. So doesn't that mean if you get spam means the traction is doing well? Is that what they call it?
Sure, if that's how you want to look at it. Let's move on then to a fatal. Okay, they don't call it fatal 4-way. It's just a 4-way match for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, Sammy Guevara.
Is this just a case of they nothing better to do, they don't know what to do, they just throw everyone inside?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Jericho has gone on record to say that, the person who finally dethrones him will be a made man because I'm that great heel who holds the title, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, like...
And one question is, right, why is Sammy Guevara in this? Wouldn't it make more sense storyline-wise to have Daniel Garcia in it?
The less we see of Daniel Garcia, better lah. Isn't he? You know,
I know,
like,
but in terms of storyline, he has hit with Bryan? He turn on Bryan. The whole point of he turned on Bryan, and he's not even in this match.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird. I don't know who's booking this. Probably Chris Jericho, but is this just a way of Chris Jericho getting over again, piling more heat on himself?
Yeah, I don't see him losing the title to Bryan or Claudio, even though they should be the champion, ROH champion. But
so okay, like, if not Chris Jericho winning and retaining, who do you think should win?
Bryan? Between the four of them? Yeah, I think Bryan should. Yep. I think Bryan needs a world title because he hasn't been treated well. Let's be honest, in AEW. Saved the first 3 months. So he needs some sort of thing to get back his momentum. So put the title on. And this is hard for me to choose because I thought Claudio didn't deserve to have his title reign ended so soon as well.
But, can we say we can't really say that Jericho and Claudio have had like this great feud as well? Because if anything, it's more like Chris Jericho versus ROH, right? He's been shitting on ROH. So I don't know. Like and Chris Jericho beat up Ian Riccaboni, didn't he? They like humiliated him and stuff like that. He beat up Colt Cabana.
Which nobody gave a damn about, and people lost viewership watching that match. So
yeah, so like just looking at this match, I'm like, yeah, it does feel like a 4-way just to put the big names into a match, try to elevate the ROH title, which, is another problem in and of itself. Maybe this is a way for Chris Jericho to drop the title so he doesn't have to wrestle at Ring of Honor's pay-per-view. He's like, fuck it, I don't want to wrestle there. I'll just drop the title. And Daniel Bryan would be very happy to headline ROH's pay-per-view.
Yeah, that would be cool. But I almost forgot that they have a pay-per-view to end the year. So it just goes to show the hype for it is clearly non-existent. But okay, in your opinion, has Chris Jericho as ROH champion bring good coverage to ROH, or has it just made it worse?
No, I feel like it's made it worse because of the way they've done it. The way they've tried to shove it down our throats while we are watching AEW. If I want to watch ROH, I'll watch ROH. Remember when ECW, long time ago, Attitude Era, ECW invaded Raw and they had some random ECW matches. And back then, I didn't know who ECW was. Did it want Did it make me watch ECW? No. I was like, who are these guys I'm unfamiliar with, right? So I get the idea that, now you put Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, all these big names that we do know in the ROH picture. I get that's what they're doing, but also at the same time, it's like, but Chris Jericho's stuff has been kind of hard to watch.
I'm curious to know, bro. You watched Raw in '97 on where? Like which, like in Singapore, what was available to watch Raw?
Bro, '97, I was in it was in Canada, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. You got the Canadian life.
Yeah, I was like in my dorm room, sort of in the lounge. I remember because we didn't have TVs in our rooms, right? We had TV in the lounge. So I would go every Monday night for Monday Night Raw, and we would sit down and watch Raw is War.
Wow, those must be amazing times, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, those were the best ways to watch wrestling when you had a group of people who would watch together, right?
Yeah. And like, it's like, not just fans, like casual people walking down the lounge and don't just pop in and like check out as well, right?
Yeah, and this was during the heyday, right? You know, your 97, 98s, you got your Austins and Undertakers and the Attitude Era popping up, The Rock.
Shit, did you watch like Survivor Series Montreal all when you were in Canada when it happened?
Yes,
were you in Canada when that shit happened?
Yes. The Montreal Screwjob, I was with a bunch of friends, Canadians, who are like, you know?
Holy crap, yo, that's dope.
Sometimes we would all pitch in to pay for the pay-per-view in our lounge. Sometimes we would go to a friend's house to watch and eat pizza and drink beer. That was the life, man. That was like, that's how people consume the pay-per-views back in the day, right? Now, of course, I mean, especially in Singapore too. It's Monday morning, like who the fuck is up watching, drinking beer and eating pizza? It's different lah. The vibe is completely different.
Mr. Young, you're living the really Attitude Era. What would I give, right, to be a teenager during the Attitude Era in North America watching pay-per-views?
Yes. And like, you know, with friends, not living at home too. You know, like, you know, you're out in college and drinking and having, and then of course you had idiots trying to wrestle each other as well. I had one friend put this guy in my friend got put in an ankle lock, and then like 1 week later I saw him in a cast. What the fuck happened to you? The ankle lock, dude actually like snapped his ankle in the ankle lock.
Oh fuck.
And that's why they say don't try this at home, you dumb.
Oh my God, that's so fucking funny. I mean, like, you know, Mark Saleh's, you know, Caucasians, what do you expect?
But anyway, back to this. Yeah, despite the fact that we got 3 big names and 1 up-and-comer, I'm just not very hyped for this match at all.
Yeah, I'm not. And the funny thing is, or the sad thing is, it's technically one of the major attractions of the pay-per-view. It's supposed to be like one of the marquee matches.
Okay, we know that Sammy will be like Jericho's stooge, right? There won't be a tease of any turn. But there has been tease of dissension between Claudio and Bryan. So what if this is how they turn Bryan against Claudio, and then we get Bryan versus Claudio moving on?
Honestly, if this match leads to a Bryan heel turn, I'm down. I'm all for it. That's the only way to salvage this and have a talking point going out of the match.
But Bryan as a heel versus Claudio, is it for the ROH title or just side feud? And Chris Jericho continues to hold the ROH belt.
Oh yeah, you're right. I like the thought of Bryan holding the ROH belt as a heel champion because he goes back to his roots. When he started off ROH, he was like, you know, this very like badass American Dragon kind of character. So if he were to hold the title and then go on a feud with Claudio, he can headline the ROH show for sure.
It will be a banger.
And they can also continue into like the next couple of months, and having Bryan as a featured talent on the TV shows is really, really needed right now. We need the star power right now in AEW.
But we know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to call it right now. Chris Jericho will retain. He'll continue his reign of terror, reign of Jericho, and Bryan and Claudio will go on and have their great feud. I'm sure they'll have awesome matches, stuff like that. Because that's what they do. But Chris will be the champion, and he will carry on throwing out open challenges, making fun of ROH until somebody takes the title off him.
Who do you think will be the one taking the title off of him? Like early predictions.
I don't care. Wheeler, Utah. No, I don't.
So who has a very personal question directed to you? I don't know whether you want to answer.
I see it. How old is Mr. Young? When the Montreal Screwjob happened, I was still in primary school. I'm 43. bro. Yeah, I was in my teens, late teens, 20s almost when when the Attitude Era happened. So that, like, to me, growing up was the golden era, the Hogan, Macho Man. That was my primary school.
Let's do some math. So in 97, you would have been 70? 18?
My birth year is 1979, unless you do the math.
Okay, 79, 89, 18. You were 18.
18. Just turned 18. Legal to drink.
Bro, your early 20s was Attitude Era, like the height, like 18 to 21. Oh, amazing, man.
Yeah, those were my days, man.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Amazing.
Don't make me nostalgic. Okay, come. Back to this
let's
show.
move on. Let's move on. Yes.
Speaking of a shit show, by the way, it's not in the card, but did you see what's his Samoa Joe turn on Wardlow?
That happened on Rampage, so I didn't see it live. I saw it results wise. Well, is that gonna be on the pay-per-view?
No,
is there a match?
No.
Exactly.
But they have dropped the ball so hard as it relates to Wardlow. You know, I mean,
guy.
There's this week they can add the match, but it's already 9 matches long. You know, AEW keeps doing this.
Who would have
5-hour
thought
pay-per-views.
Wardlow being TNT champion is actually a detriment to his career? Who would have thought?
Like, he had the perfect setup. They threw the perfect pass to him. And then so far, they've just been botching it left, right, and center with Wardlow.
You know what's the problem?
What?
The problem is, like, too many titles, whether it's ROH or all these other Mid-Atlantic or whatever shit, right? It's taking attention away from the TNT Championship being a major title.
Yeah. And okay, no, but beyond that even, like, what have they done with Wardlow? Absolutely nothing. Comedy matches, nonsense matches, putting him in an inexplicable tag team and then breaking up the tag team within just a few weeks. It's not like these two have had an amazing run and, they've bonded, they're real friends, they're bros, nothing like that. No, they got together for no reason, now they've broken up for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of destroys all the momentum that Wardlow built up from MJF.
Yeah.
And you had a star. Like, the problem is, right, I don't know whether that rivalry happened too early. Because when Batista had that rivalry with Triple H, the moment he turned on Triple H, he straightaway went for the world title.
Yep.
So would you argue that he should have gotten a world title run right after that?
Maybe not world title, maybe a brush at the world title and then, like slowly build him up again. But certainly not what they've done recently. Have him up there feuding with like a second tier, like, someone who's just about to break through, to the main event. Like I was about to say Chris Jericho.
Bro, if you think about it, right, if CM Punk didn't get injured after Double or Nothing and he was the champion holding the title going into the summer, right, don't you think CM Punk would have done a rivalry with Wardlow?
Yeah, and would have put him over gangbusters.
Yeah,
Jason says best booker of the year has a problem booking champs, but only good at booking the chase. Bro, I disagree. I think that he has no business doing booking whatsoever. He can't book shit. The only feuds that have worked are veterans who can book themselves.
Yeah,
so I don't
exactly,
know
right?
why anybody thinks that he's like, look at the youngsters who've had to go with what Tony Khan says. They've all been flops. The only great feuds are people who kind of have a mind for the business. MJF, CM Punk. Chris Jericho books himself, so that one you cannot blame Tony Khan. But everybody else has been shit. The other success story, The Acclaim. Kind of, you can see like Billy Gunn is sort of there helping them out. And I'll argue that you look at the booking right now, they are successful despite the booking.
Got it. Yeah, the booking hasn't been that great.
No, they've only succeeded because of their raw talent and charisma. The booking has been horrendous. You give this sort of booking to any other team, they would have flopped by now already. We'll get to that in just a bit, I guess. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about that match. The Acclaim with Billy Gunn, who is now their legal guardian or their foster parent or some shit, versus Swerve in Our Glory. Swerve.
Nice.
Remember when Swerve abducted Billy Gunn and like chopped off, like used pliers on his fingers, and then the next week Billy Gunn comes out like, he's selling it, wearing the cast, but like nothing wrong like that, still doing the fun. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
What
right.
the fuck is that? The man tried to break your fingers with pliers and you haven't called the cops?
Bro, if you're blind, like, technically, if you
What?
cut off your hand, like, isn't that like fucking like murder? Or is it like charge?
It's definitely something you call the police for, but oh no, in pro wrestling we settle things in the ring. Like, what the fuck is this nonsense? He literally abducted your dad, right? And you know, he took, okay, fine, he didn't like chop off his fingers. He implied that he broke his fingers, right, with pliers. That's aggravated assault. How the fuck is Swerve and it's on camera?
Bro,
So
the next week, right? You know what happened?
What?
Swerve backstage act like nothing with Rick Ross.
Okay, that was actually really hilarious because Rick Ross is like, what? Accusations! That's a meme. That's a meme. Accusation.
Yeah.
Like Rick Ross unintentionally became the best promo of the night.
Oh, bro, Rick Ross was on the game, man. He was really on fire that night. I don't know why. I think maybe he's really excited to act out his segment. He's like, hey, here's my chance to do some acting in wrestling.
Accusations!
Yeah, the funny thing is, he just acted like nothing happened, and then Keith Lee confronted him. He's like, let's not talk about this right now. Let's not talk about it. And then they swept it under the rug. And then the segment that came out, the Acclaim came out on the ring, it was like a celebration again.
Like nothing happened. Like
nothing happened.
I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. Like, and despite all this horrible booking, and let's not forget the previous feud was the gimmick copyright with Mark Sterling feud. So you see, their feuds have been horrendous thus far, but yet they've managed to pull through because people love the scissoring and it's a phenomenon lah. So they've succeeded in spite of the shitty booking by Tony Khan.
Would you say that this is the worst booked hype up for a pay-per-view that AEW has ever done?
This is the worst booked AEW has ever been in the history of AEW.
Yeah, this whole period, this like whole last 2-3 months, right?
Yeah, I don't know if Tony Khan is cracking from the pressure or he has a bunch of talent. See, I honestly feel, this is my belief, that Tony Khan books this shit, the stuff that works or succeeds only because of the talent, not because of the booking. He can't book worth a damn. He can't book his way out of the paper bag.
I think the problem with him is he books like a fan. And as a fan, you book because you want to see what works best. And then when we played GM mode in WWE 2K, we just book like the craziest stipulations, like the best like matches, and then you kind of just like hope that the fans figure it out or that the wrestlers figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, right? I don't think he's like, even his long-term storytelling has a proper payoff.
No. See, the thing with Tony Khan too, like, you know, everyone always says, oh, he's a numbers guy. He's a numbers guy. He can be a numbers guy. He probably crunches numbers, looks at the numbers, but he doesn't follow. He lets his. I feel like he lets his emotions dictate what he wants. By emotions, I mean his friends whispering it in his ear. And I think very soon he's gonna find out they're only his friends because of his money. Talking about, you know, your Young Bucks, your Chris Jerichos, and whatnot.
Do you think people feel sorry for Tony Khan? Because, right, if you think about it, right, if you were to grow up being a crazy wrestling fan and he was like from a rich family, went to a school and like studied and all that, wasn't he like a nerd?
Yeah, I'm sure. And maybe he didn't, the only friends he had were people who were, you know, friends with him because of his money lah.
Oh yeah, and like I don't think he's ever been in a situation in his wildest dream where my friends will be wrestlers.
Yeah.
To him, it's like the fucking coolest thing ever. So right now, right, he is trying to wrestle with this inner fan that, oh, I just want to hang out with wrestlers.
Yeah.
And actually trying to manage them. That's like two completely different spectrums here. You can't have your mind be both.
And you know that these wrestlers, they've been hustling their whole life. You know, I'm not saying that they're horrible people trying to make use of Tony Khan, but they, you know,
exactly, right?
There will be some who will be like, all right, I'm going to be your best friend because you are paying my check. And the second he stops, they're not going to be your friend anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And also, these people, sorry, Mr. Young, Chris Jericho fan there, right? Yeah, like he sees him as the cash cow, and I'm just gonna milk it dry.
Yeah.
And the moment shit goes down that is gonna like affect him, he's gonna be out. I don't think Chris Jericho is the type of guy that sticks in the trenches, especially at this stage of his career.
No, he's just there. Like, I'm sure once this falls apart and WWE is like, you want to go in the Hall of Fame, he'll be like, hell yeah, Tripp's my best friend. Triple H, my best friend.
Exactly, right? Like, who really is the AEW company guy other than Tony Khan? Everyone else there is just there for work.
Yeah. At least with CM Punk, you knew what he was there. He was there for, yes, the money, but also to, fulfill a destiny, do certain things. So that's why, coming back to the original discussion we had, at least with CM Punk, his intentions are clear. Draw money, headline, bring other people up at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So I think going forward, Tony Khan really needs to know who has his back and who is really there for the company and for wrestling, and who is really there just to like leech off of him. Because for me, I don't mind you leech off of him, but you are a star, you're making money and you're drawing viewers. I think that's fine. Yep. Like Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar don't give a fuck about the wrestling business except to make money for himself.
No, but to be fair, he's been putting over people quite, well. He put over Roman Reigns. Now he's working a program with Lashley. I mean, hopefully he puts over Lashley at some point. But but I know what you mean. Like, it's quite well documented. He just shows up. He does give advice to the younger guys, but his advice is very funnier. It's like, you can say that because you are freaking Brock Lesnar.
I'm pretty sure people will be like, huh? If you're angry, just throw everyone under the bus and just kill everyone? I don't think that works here.
Yeah, Ricochet be like, I don't think I can do that, bro. I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay, so back to this. Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory. Obviously, they're trying to tease a breakup between Keith and Swerve. Like, Swerve is like this shady character who's breaking finger. Once again, I can accept wrestling logic unless it's so egregious that it's like, this makes no fucking sense. And this has crossed the line of not making sense. You have the guy breaking people's fingers. Next week, he's coming out. Oh, it's okay. I'm scissoring, but in bandages. All right, cool, bro. With your broken ass fingers and not pressing charges. That's cool, right? And Keith being all upset. But like, this is Swerve's character. It's literally right there in his name. His name is Swerve.
Bro, Sneaky Swerve is actually a dope nickname.
Yeah. So I'm like, he's advertised it and you're blind to it. Whatever, like, okay, you guys had a moment, you guys won the championship, I can see that. But now they're doing this whole act out where Keith is like, I can't trust you. Swerve is like, dude, here's another thing that it feels like Tony Khan is very egregious at, or very guilty of. He likes to put together people and then break them up very fast.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. And the thing is, this was not even an alliance. It was like an unlikely alliance, right? They were even supposed to be together. And then they got pushed to become like tag team champions. It's time lah. Like, Keith Lee wasn't meant to go into AEW as a tag team star. He was supposed to go to it as a single star.
But
it's time to break them up.
That being said, can he do it in the ring in terms of, like, how he gets blown up? At least in the tag team, he can rely on his partner to come in, wrestle most of the match. Then Keith Lee gets the hot tag. He comes in, does power moves, and fucks off. Like, I mean, no shade against the guy, but he's obviously not been the same since he's recovered from the COVID and almost dying from COVID, right?
Yeah. So NXT Keith Lee was really athletic and could really just go. Yeah. Right?
Now when you watch it, it's like, even though he's wrestling tag team matches, like half the time you're like, oh my God, it's like he's swimming in water.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to watch him wrestle. So I'm like, I don't know if breaking them up is going to work here. But then, like, obviously the Acclaim win here.
Yeah, the Acclaim will win for sure. And I hope the end goal is to have FTR and the Acclaim get together.
Didn't they already have that sort of moment where, like, we got nixed or something like that? Now that the Young Bucks are back, and that's another thing we have to address, right? The Elite are back. Somehow I don't think that's gonna happen. Like, just call me a conspiracy theorist here, but now that the Elite are back, I don't think FTR are going to. In fact, it's more likely that the Gun Club, they will get next. And it makes sense, right? The Acclaim versus the Gun Club. We got Billy Gunn in the mix as well. Billy Gunn sort of in a cage match, maybe. I don't know if
whatever it is, the Acclaim will win, and I just hope the Acclaim can hold the title long enough to establish some sort of run as opposed to just drop the titles within 1-2 weeks. So I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Same. This, if anything, serves more as the breakup of Swerve in Our Glory than anything, and then we'll be treated to Keith Lee versus Swerve Strickland and, blah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay.
You want to talk about this potential Elite return at
Full Gear? Well, I mean, they've been showing all the vignettes of them disappearing Thanos style, right? Like the snap and everything. And honestly, you know how I feel about the Elite. I honestly don't give a crap if they come back or not.
If they were to come back, will things get better?
No?
Will things get worse?
We've already seen things get worse. And here's the thing. Hasn't it been rumored that they've been back for the past few weeks? And is it a coincidence? Coincidence,
yeah.
That the past few weeks booking and shows have been just blah?
You think they have something to do with it?
I mean, Kenny Omega is still in charge of the women's division. Young Bucks, run the tag. And what have the trios title been doing, by the way? Who are even the trios champs right now?
Death Triangle.
It's still that, and they're doing some random bullshit where Park is like, use this hammer, and then Phoenix is like, no, I don't want to use hammer. Use this hammer. Like, what the fuck is this? Oh my god.
The way you acted out like a Mexican telenovela.
Use this hammer, brother. I don't know the accent of.
Bro, no, don't even try. Never mind, it's okay.
you use this hammer, you will win. Ha ha ha. Chang chang chang. And then Felix like, no, I am Let's champion.
What? Bro, who are you basing this accent off of, bro?
Anyhow. It's whatever it is, it's stupid. This
gosh.
And isn't this sort of the same gimmick that Swerve and Keith are doing? Like tag teams that are breaking up because one is more shady than the others are more honorable. Like, oh my god. Can you not recycle stories while they are happening?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't really care about the Elite because I think people know where my loyalties lie. I'm not saying that, I will just do or follow whatever CM Punk does, but I know this is a fact. CM Punk is a bigger star than the Elite all combined.
Yep.
And he brings ratings, especially in on Dynamite, and call it. If all of this was the same thing, but it was to promote CM Punk's return, I tell you, it would be like the biggest segment on Full Gear. Imagine if all the vignettes was of CM Punk being snapped out. I think people will be like, oh shit, CM Punk is coming back. Like the hype will be there. But because it's the Elite, you'll be like, oh yeah, of course they will come back. Whatever, move on.
Maybe the Elite fans, because they have so many fans, they are the ones getting excited. What if this could be the biggest swerve, right? Everyone expects the Young Bucks and the Elite to come back, but it's CM Punk that comes back. And and the implication is he is the Thanos that's been snapping them away. Bro,
that I tell you, that will spark the wrestling world like on fire, and it will be like the biggest talking point out of it. But they won't be able to.
No, no, that's not gonna happen. They're gonna come back. The crowd will pop, and then they'll go back to doing their bullshit, doing trampoline matches every week, the same thing, and then they'll get boring real quick.
I just saw Jason say, "Foreign, write a new article. 5 reasons why I love the Elite."
I'll give you one reason right now. It makes me appreciate good wrestling more.
Exactly.
Okay, let me give you an example. This past weekend, I had good food every single day. Every meal, just a lot of food, right? Everything I can throw at my stomach.
And cheap as well.
And cheap, good, cheap food. By Sunday, I was like, I just want very plain, boring. I was like, ugh! I was too much. It was too much. So, that goes back into the whole issue with, and I'm not saying that the Elite are compared to good food. I'm just saying that too much of the same thing over and over again, you get sick of it real quick. They've ruined their own market. We talked about this ad nauseum. You can't do what they do everything. You have to learn to generate emotion, like Bray Wyatt, like a CM Punk, MJF.
Don't you think why the Elite did so well in New Japan? Because New Japan just don't have weekly shows.
Yeah, they just show up once in a while, they make an impact, they do crazy shit, and then fuck off for a few months. Then they just replay the highlights over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like Kenny Omega, for him to do all those crazy 7-star matches, 5-star matches, he needed the time away, and he needed the hype to build up. Then he can do those matches. He can't keep doing it every week.
Yeah.
So they haven't learned the art of doing television, essentially.
No. They've definitely solidified the art of doing indie shows, giving people sort of cool Instagram moments, cool short clip moments. Right? And then after that, there's nothing compelling about them. What was the guy's Suerto Mero guy?
Penta.
Penta and Park are perfect examples. They wrestle almost every other week, but every single one of the matches are the same. They are spectacular, no doubt. But week on week, every time it's their match, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what's gonna happen already.
Yeah.
That's why
like
there are certain combos that should never happen. You should never put the Lucha Bros with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy because they'll go and do the same damn things. Versus the Young Bucks, they'll do the same damn things every single match.
Yeah, Park also. Unfortunately, I think Park performed better, had better, more memorable matches in WWE, NXT.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
As Neville, is it?
As Neville, yeah.
Okay.
I said, so the Elite coming back is whatever lah. Let's move forward.
Yes, let us move forward. There's one more match before the main event I forgot to bring up. It's a triple threat. All right, it's the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament Finals. Oh my god, another tournament. Here we go. Ethan Page or Bandito. Who the is Bandito?
Okay, Bandito is a ROH mask guy. He's good, so that's all I know.
But why is he here? He beat Rush in a match nobody gave a fuck about.
Is Bandito technically already signed to AEW? I believe he is, so he's part of the AEW right now.
It's another, really, Tony Khan is so guilty of just signing everybody and not making use of the people he has and promoting them. You sign them, that's great, but make them matter. Right now, Rush, who I've said is very talented, is useless. He's just a side guy, wrestles random matches, right? So you have Ethan Page versus Bandito Pocket in the semifinals. I think it happens this week on Dynamite, actually. So we'll find. It's probably going to be Ethan Page, lah.
I hope so. If they want to push the firm, it should be Ethan Page.
The firm. Ethan Page versus Bandito versus Brian Cage or Lance Archer or Ricky Starks. So okay, Lance Archer, Ricky Starks. Wait, has that one happened already?
Didn't Lance Archer attack Ricky Starks? Then he kena injured or something. Yeah.
Who injured? Ricky,
Yeah. As in he attacked him backstage.
Yeah, who gives a shit about Lance Archer?
Yeah, so it's either I think it's probably Lance Archer moving forward, but Lance Archer is gonna fight Brian Cage, you mean?
Who wants to see Lance Archer versus Brian Cage?
Can we just wrap it up and just say Ethan Page is winning at Full Gear and let's just move on and talk about the main event?
I want to talk about this because this is such an indictment of the terrible booking of Tony Khan. You look at this entire tournament, right? You have Eddie Kingston, you had Ethan Page, you had Rush, you had Ricky Starks. You have so many guys with so much potential and they just they've been reduced to these characters nobody cares about.
And Brian Cage wasn't on television for a year plus. And suddenly he's back without any explanation.
Yeah. There's a reason he sucks. Where's Will Hobbs? Why is he not in this?
Exactly.
Yeah, Brian Cage is like a shit version of Will Hobbs. If you've seen his matches, he's not good. There's a reason why they kicked him out of Team Test. He's trash, right? So you got Brian Cage versus. Okay, I don't know if I haven't followed this, but if Ricky Starks can somehow pull it off against Lance Archer, it would be great because we all love Ricky Starks. Lance Archer, unfortunately, he has a look. He can go. He does more garbage wrestling than anything, but he's never around. So whenever he is around, it's more like, oh, he's there to lose lah. Right?
He's like the less famous version of Braun Strowman, I feel. He does a lot of things that Braun Strowman does. Maybe he's slightly more athletic than Braun Strowman. He can do flips and shit.
Well, he does the old school, but with a moonsault, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, which is crazy for a big guy. So okay, respect to him for doing that. But the point is, he started out as one of the big names signed to AEW. Now he feels like a very forgettable name right now.
Yeah, he's a journeyman, I guess, one of those guys that goes and does his New Japan thing, only drops by once in a while to lose or put somebody over. So maybe Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks pulls off an unlikely babyface win. Because I wanted, like Jason says, Ricky Starks versus Ethan Page on the mic.
Ricky Starks and Ethan Page going into Full Gear would be quite dope.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't mind Ricky Starks having a gutsy performance, but Ethan Page wins because it makes sense. I mean, we're going to talk about MJF and Moxley, but if MJF for some reason wins, right, he got the firm as one of his first opponents.
Well, here's the thing. The question is MJF face or heel after Full Gear? Was it a swerve? Was it not? What if Ricky Starks were to win the finals and then he freaking, as a babyface, goes up against a heel MJF? I think that would be a great program.
It will be fresh. It will be a new matchup on top of the card. I wouldn't mind that as well.
Yeah. But just looking at this, Bandito's not going to freaking move on. You know that Brian Cage, unless somebody's really drunk and full of shit, Brian Cage moving to the finals versus Ethan Page, that would just be the shits.
Yeah, that would be quite funny though. But yeah, I don't blame you, bro. Bandito is really good, but it's just not well known because he's from Arrowhead.
Yeah, there's literally no build behind Bandito Pocket, so there's no. I don't give a shit how good he is. He can have a 7-star match with Ethan Page.
You're making me crave for KFC Bandito right now.
That's all I can think about when I see Bandito. All right, then let's move on to the main event. It's Jon Moxley, MJF for the AEW World Championship. I mean, if anything, this is the match everyone's here to see, right? It's the culmination of MJF.
I wish they did a better job building up this match. I hope that they produce like some road to Full Gear and they have like an awesome promo package to build him up, because right now there's nothing that's hyping me up for this match, and I feel bad because we should be hyped up for this match. This is MJF's potential coronation, right?
I feel like everything. Okay, like Jon Moxley has been cutting good promos in the ring, don't get me wrong, but like MJF doing the press tour, podcasts, interviews, those are great. He can sell his ass off. He can sell a fight. He is a prodigy. The WWE better be fucking willing to pay some money for him in 2024. Jin Long, by the way, I want to acknowledge what he said. Young Bucks and Omega, don't waste time. Just go WWE feud with the Bloodlines and Reigns. How about no? How about they just go back to the indies and don't disturb my television wrestling? I think Triple H is smart enough to know that they are not as big as they think they are. And it would just be enabling them, and you're ruining your own company culture if you brought the elite in.
Their time to sign them up was at the start of AEW when they had a potential to sign with WWE in 2019. Yeah. That was when their stock was at its highest.
Yes. But now that they've proven that they are not really a television draw, Triple H would be stupid to bring them in.
Yeah. It's like when Kurt Angle joined WWE, then Vince McMahon wanted to sign him up and give him like a long contract, and then he said, but I cannot lose.
Yeah.
Because I'm an Olympic wrestler. And he's like, fuck this shit. Then he come back 2 years later, he had to go through developmental.
Yeah. Can you imagine the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega in NXT? That'd be quite funny.
Actually, I can. Then they just fight all the young jobbers and the youngsters there.
Okay, so anyway, back to MJF and Moxley. So the big question is, will he turn heel? Will the firm be involved? Will the BCC be involved?
I don't know. I hope it's like a clean match. I hope there's gonna be the firm coming out and like teasing the potential of like helping him, but I think he'll turn them down. Or if he's really a heel, he will go all out with the swerve and do all the dastardly thing for him to win, not clean. Or there's also that William Regal situation right there. There's this whole dynamic where he might turn on Moxley and then he aligns with William Regal. William Regal is his new
mentor.
Wingman. Yeah, mentor.
Okay, so imagine actually that would be like, imagine if it's like a double turn, as in MJF turns face and then turns heel, but not in that he was really, sorry, what?
Like part of the firm?
No, like the part where the firm turned on him was real, quote unquote, was real. He didn't fake that. But him turning and joining Regal is also real. You know what I mean? So it's like a double turn. So he turns face but immediately turns heel. Not through his own design, but through the design of the circumstance.
I think that's pretty dope. You know what? That would be quite a complex bit of storytelling that I don't think AEW is capable of. But if they can pull it off, hey, it's a great talking point going out of Full Gear, in my opinion.
Because to be honest, now that they've introduced the firm, right? The firm also like not here, not there. They've literally, within a week or two of establishing a dominant faction, they've lost their leader. It's like the Judgment Day losing Edge.
Yeah, exactly, right. Well, I don't know. Like right now, I don't feel anything for this match, and I want to feel something. So I hope they give us something this week's Dynamite. I hope they have like an awesome like face to face or whatever it is.
Moxley dropping the title, I think, is long overdue because his vacation is long overdue. The poor guy wanted to have a vacation, but nope, he has to hold the title up. So MJF wins without the help of the firm, but aligns himself with Regal, who turns heel, and they brutalize Jon Moxley so that Jon Moxley has an excuse to disappear for a couple of months. Yeah?
Yep. I think that's great. Attack the top guy for BCC. Then William Regal leaves BCC, aligns with MJF, and then below Claudio and Brian has their own dissension, and then Wheeler involved. I think it's a great way because BCC has run its course.
Wheeler can fuck the hell off with Daniel Garcia. They can go to ROH and fight, But yeah, like as much as the idea of the BCC was an awesome idea, I think that's run its course as well.
Yeah. I think a lot of AEW needs to do a reset, like a hard reset. And having that hard reset of MJF on top as a top heel champion, even with William Regal together by himself, that's gonna be amazing, man, if they do it, right?
Yeah, there you go. Is that too complex of a booking situation? I think so as well.
Maybe.
I think, honestly, simply put, MJF comes out as a babyface champion. I think that's what's gonna happen. More than likely, if the rumors and innuendo are to be believed that Chris Jericho is whispering in our good friend's ear. And for all we know, this is what could happen, right? MJF wins the title, Jon Moxley goes away. Who's the number one heel now? You don't have, MJF is no longer a heel, right? He's a face. Well, your number one heel is Chris Jericho. He drops the ROH title and then he feuds with MJF and he is inserted himself into the World Championship scene. Bro,
yeah, exactly, right?
Can you see that happening? Like, I feel like that is exactly what's gonna happen. That's not what I want.
Can you imagine MJF babyface versus heel Chris Jericho, and that's like the one that is like main eventing going forward? And I wouldn't put it past Chris Jericho, bro.
And they can have a part 2 of their musical. Remember their musical?
Holy shit! Of course I remember that.
Oh
God.
Shit! We've come full circle, bro. They're gonna have a musical part 2.
No, it's gonna be like a dramatic musical. It's gonna be like fucking like Phantom of the Opera now.
Okay, look, I like our idea of a double turn with Regal, but yeah, MJF going full-fledged face. I mean, Chris Jericho hinted as much already. Yeah. You
know what? Sally, if you're still on the chat, if you try to clip this part of the video, because if it really happens, then we can show it. Because I remember, I think he clipped the part where we talk about, imagine if Asuka and Io Sky had like a back and forth, and it really happened. So
yeah, and then was it the fans who put the subtitles, or was it WWE? Like, because when I was watching Raw, there was no subtitles, but on social media there was.
I think it's the fans that do it after the fact.
Okay, that was a great moment. Like, I freaking enjoyed the hell out of it. And then when they put the subtitles, it enhanced it even more, right? To a point where I was like, oh shit. But that being said, I know if Vince were in charge, he would do it every week. And it would get old real fast. I hope Triple H is smart, and I think he is, to be like, okay, that was a cool moment. Let's not do it again for a couple of weeks. You know?
Not do it too much, yeah. But I think overall, my hype level for Full Gear is a bit meh. Honestly, I've bought all the AEW pay-per-views thus far, right? But I'm thinking of not actually buying this on Fight and like watching it after the fact, in my opinion. So that's where I am at. That's where I'm at right now.
And that's sad because you see all the talents here, right? And you're like, they're definitely gonna put out banger matches. But yeah, you're right. Like, same. In terms of like, okay, chat, upon 10, what is your hype level for this Full Gear? This is the final pay-per-view. It's the final one, right? Don't count
final of the year.
Yeah, don't count ROH lah. But for AEW, this is the final pay-per-view of the year. And yeah,
I mean, Winter is Coming is just a television special.
Yeah. For me, this is a solid 6. And most of the 6 goes to Jon Moxley versus MJF. Everything else is sort of a meh. Like, oh, don't watch, also can skip.
Yeah.
Saleh said 1 or 2. Wow, wow, don't even give it a passing grade. This is major fail. 3, says Jason. Wow, I'm supposed to be the quote-unquote anti-AEW guy, okay?
Am I right to say you guys are watching this review not because you all hype for AEW Full Gear, but you just want to hang out with us today?
Well,
thanks guys, appreciate it.
Yeah, I am interested to see where they go with MJF. And, like you said, MJF is a ticket seller. He is, if not for CM Punk, at least there's an MJF, right? Everything else sort of, I wouldn't pay to watch any of these other matches. Maybe I want to find out what happens with the Elite and if they address anything. But even then, a simple Instagram post will do it for me.
So looking forward, I think post Full Gear. So next week we'll do a Full Gear review. The week after though, as in this coming week, the SPW's anniversary show is coming up. So I will try to track down our dear friend's statement. And hopefully we can secure like an exclusive interview with him and maybe do some giveaways. I think he hinted a bit when he texted me that time. So for people who want to attend the show. So next week is all going to be all about post Full Gear and building up hype towards SPW anniversary show.
Saleh says, got to address what happened during Raw Austin snap. Well, I have not watched Raw yet, by the way. I haven't had the time. So I saw the clip. I saw a clip that quote unquote Austin Theory snapped, right? Which makes sense. He just lost his Money in the Bank cash in a shitty way.
Yeah, I can't believe that's been a week ago, but I haven't seen Raw this morning. So I have no idea whatever has happened on Raw.
You know what? That might be the best thing to happen to Austin Theory. Because this is your hard reset of Austin Theory, because the Money in the Bank sort of is the last artifact of a Vince booked Austin Theory. And to be honest, he's sort of in this goofy, taking selfies, sort of, chicken shit heel. Maybe this is their way of saying, all right, we see potential in you. We want to give you legitimacy. We want to give. It's like, it's like Randy when he finally got an edge, or Edge when he finally got an edge. Because before Edge was Edge, he was the goofy Edge. Does that make sense?
Yeah, got it. Yeah, makes perfect sense. And he can't do that whole selfish stick anymore because Logan Paul, the biggest social media star in the entire world right now, is in WWE. So he can get rid of that gimmick for sure.
Yeah, and then just have him snap. Well, I mean, hopefully they give him something more than just snap. Everybody has snapped before, right? So,
yeah. I don't know, man. Like going forward, you know that there's just gonna be this whole Bloodline versus Brawling Brutes heading into War Games. There is just no space for Theory to be in the main event, so he needs to start work his way back up, whether it's the mid cards or whatever it is.
Talking about War Games, I saw a clip of how Mia Yim was added to the Women's War Games match, which is very interesting because that means Rhea Ripley will be added to the Bayley's team, right? Which means Sasha Banks and Naomi are not going to be filling out the other two spots.
Ooh.
Which is a bit weird, don't you think? Or is Mia Yim sort of a red herring? Like this week they fill in Mia Yim, but next week they beat her up and take her out of the match.
Or maybe Sasha and Naomi that don't care about being involved in the match. Maybe they just appear as like post-match, like a surprise. And confront Bayley and then just end it right there.
Maybe that could be a way, but I was a bit like, I think fans were expecting Sasha Banks and Naomi.
One small thing is Survivor Series is taking place in Boston, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
And is that Sasha Banks' hometown?
Yes. Maybe she fills out the last spot. I don't know. Maybe, or maybe, like I said, they could do a thing where Alexa Bliss and Alexa Bliss and somebody else, Asuka, get injured before the match. They need last-minute replacements. And then, it's boss time! Michael Cole loses his shit.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Well, heading into Survivor Series, I think we need a couple more Raws and SmackDowns to kind of know what's the bigger picture for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a very, very packed and exciting November-December period, bruh.
I think so. Both with local wrestling and with the WWE, and hopefully with MJF and the AEW, and he freaking breaks up. I hope this is his moment, man. I really hope that Full Gear, for all its shitty matches, if MJF can just salvage this whole thing by having a breakout match, this would be,
MJF needs to be the top star going to 2023 in AEW. I think that is confirmed. Needs to happen.
Yes, exactly. AJ versus Finn again. Who cares?
Let's save our WWE talk for next week. One other thing I wanted to mention is so I guess officially the Usos are the longest reigning tag team champions in history. They broke the record. The New Day had a banger match with them, but Usos is clearly the team on top right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately to me, the New Day are very stale at this point. They are beyond stale,
I hope they turn heel again.
Yeah. Maybe
If
they
they
can
want
turn
a-
heel on Big E. A returning Big E. Imagine
That'll
that.
be damn
Instant,
funny, but
yeah, instant heat. Instant heat.
yeah.
And it's actually, I wouldn't say easy to book, but you could have Big E return when he does make his big triumphant return, right? And then they get jealous because he gets all the adulation.
Yeah, and they've been nothing's in his absence.
Yeah, exactly. So
Makes
there you
sense,
go.
makes sense.
But that is for a future thing. Do I see any tag team on the horizon to challenge the Usos? Not really. I mean, a lot has been talked about Sami Zayn. And imagine Sami Zayn is... I know they are prepping... what's his face?
Solo?
No. They're prepping... Cody Rhodes.
Kevin Owens? Cody Rhodes, yeah.
To take the title off of Roman Reigns. But just imagine Zaynomania, just like Kofi Mania. It's one of those things that organically happens, bro. Imagine if Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn gets a shot at Roman Reigns instead of Cody. Bro.
Honestly, I think I can see Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns like headlining a WrestleMania or like a SummerSlam for the title. I think it would be quite amazing, like because of the fan support people have for Sami right now. I think it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it would be huge. And I don't know, somehow Kevin Owens. I think more than likely, it will be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, and they will be the ones taking the tag team titles off the Usos at that point.
Yeah. If they want to keep Sami in the mid-card level, I guess, like the secondary storyline, maybe that's the way. But
what I'm
he
saying...
has the potential, bro. Yeah.
Like a Kofi Mania moment, Zaynomania moment, the Usi moment. Like, good God, man. But it takes away from the potential Cody. Or if you have it occur before WrestleMania, you could still have Rock versus Reigns, and Sami takes the title off of Roman.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of permutations, but yeah, I'm leaning more towards like Sami having his Mick Foley moment. Maybe the New Year's Day episode of Raw, he wins the title. Why not?
My God. Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that would be funny. But again, we shall see.
Yeah, that's a podcast for another day. Okay, it's 2:00. It's time for us to wrap things up. Time for you to go back to work. I mean, you don't have to go back to work. You can go back to like surfing the web or playing your games or whatever the case may be. Whatever your Tuesday holds, we say thank you so much for spending some time with us. We absolutely appreciate it. If you haven't already, do us a favor, hit the like on the video. And if you missed out on any of it, you can always catch it on demand on YouTube or listen to it on Spotify and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Yeah, man. And if you want to support us, please consider joining our our Discord channel as well. That we can talk wrestling like throughout the week. It's always hot over there with the rest of the listeners. Or if you want to pledge your support for us, please support us on Patreon, because our Patreon members will get something really exclusive, which is related to our 11.12 event next month.
11.12 event. I like it. Okay. Lots of scissoring action. Hopefully that's what you get this week. Stay Uzi.
Yes, man, for sure.
And we'll see you again next week. All right, it's Mr. Young.
And it's for in the building. Take care.
Kick to the gut. I like it.